So this next bit is more of like a technology preview of all the things Delphinium is adding. So I'm just going to blitz through this fast. It's probably going to be more detailed than you want, but I'm just going to pull it through. So we
Awesome.
have the new messaging center. We've got an overhaul on the interface. It's a little cleaner than before, but we've added a lot more tools. So if you start with the simplest message, you're just going to give it a title. So welcome to class. You'll give it a message. Hey there. And you can hit send and it will go. That's the simplest thing that could possibly be. Now from there, you can start to investigate some of the additional features. So some of the new things is the variable text. We've added a lot of new variable text. Some of this will look familiar. So first name, last name, we always had. We can throw in how many times they viewed the course, what their participation count is in the course, what their percentile or the rank they are in the course. We have some new course variables, today's date, last day, first day. Snippets is kind of cool. Snippets is a way that you can create your own variable text. So let me go to snippets really quick. Here we have the snippets. So you can add a snippet of your choice. If you make it a course snippet, it will stay in the course for future teachers when this gets copied from semester to semester. If you make it a teacher snippet, it will follow you around from course to course. So for example, I see some ways that you could use this. You could put your office hours in here. You could put how they could connect with you through a calendar. If there's a little bio that you want all of the time, you can put that in here. And then when you are creating a message, your snippets will be in this list. It'll dump out a little tag. And then when this message gets sent, your snippet will replace that tag. So if you have a snippet that's following you around everywhere, you can just update the snippet and it will get updated in all future emails that use that snippet. Another cool thing is blocks. So if you're familiar with the old progress report system, we've kind of integrated all those tools in to give you some more flexibility. So you can just drop in this list. Delphinium will, when you send it, will generate this list. You can decide what to put in it if you don't want the grade or you don't want the quality. Yeah, if you want it to report out a list of what's due in the next 7 days or what you missed in the previous 7 days, you can change the order of these. You can then write your message above and below it. And just have that very customizable. If you want to, you can put multiple of those blocks in. So if you wanted to do just assignments due in the next 7 days and then write some text and then put in another one and just have it show the missing, you can there's quite a bit of flexibility there. Another set of blocks is for components. So it will write out information about where the student is in the leaderboard or prize boxes. Again, it's all optional. You can choose which ones you want to include and change the order. And the last block that I'll show you here is a conditional block. So this is where you can create a paragraph inside this block. So I am a conditional block. And we can throw in some variables and those kind of things. If we click save on that, see if this can work. So there's the conditional block. The trick is this block will not show up unless the student matches the condition. So you can then create a condition like if the course points is less than 10 in the last 7 days. So if the student has earned less than 10 points in the last 7 days, then show them this block. So you could imagine if you really wanted to go crazy, you could make one message that had paragraphs that applied to different types of students. So if you had a student who was doing really well, you could say, if the student has more than so many points, then show this block. And it could say something like, congratulations, you're super awesome. Here's a code that you can give to me and I'll give you a digital sticker or something along those lines. If the student was really struggling, you could put it in the same email. You could have a block that said, if they have less than this points, then give them this message. Hey, I notice you're struggling and I want to see if I can help you. Do you want to connect with me during my office hours? So then you could write one message that you could then send to everybody, but they would each get something customized to their particular situation. So that's the new variable text tools that we have. We also have some new channels that you can send a message. So we had previously the channel to send a separate message to each student. What that did was it allowed you to do a lot of customization, but it wasn't great if it was a message to everyone because everyone got an individual copy. So in your Canvas box, you would get a separate message for each student. So if you had 200 students, you get 200 emails in your sent box. Now you can send one message to all students. It has fewer customizable pieces, but it allows you to just have one message in your email box. We previously had a Canvas announcement. Probably the most interesting thing new here, and this is true for all of them, is you can now add attachments. So you can add attachments that's available to all the different tools. Another new channel is the ability to send a message into the Canvas to-do list, that to-do list that's on the front of when students come into Canvas for the first time. I'll just go there real quick so you can see it. If you go to the Canvas home, the students will have a to-do list right here. This channel will allow you to push a message right into that to-do list and the calendar event. They're kind of the same thing. Another channel is the banner. We already had that, but again, we can put attachments to it now. Another channel is the ability to send a message directly to the student's profile email address. A lot of students aren't actually checking their messages in Canvas. So this is a way you can go around that and send it directly to the box they used when we signed them up for their Canvas account. And the last channel, I'm actually going to come back to that last channel in a second. If you like, you can add multiple channels to the same message. So here I'm sending one Canvas message for all students and a to-do item. They have slightly different features between them, so you could write the message slightly different between them. For example, if you made this one a Canvas announcement, you get the full WYSIWYG editor, where Canvas to-do item, or sorry, like a Canvas message is just very bland, straight text. A feature that will be adding in the next week or so is the ability to, so here on most of these messages, you can include the parents. We'll be adding a third box here that will allow you to include the parent's email address. So you can skip around, again, the Canvas inbox. A lot of parents aren't going there. I think that's all I need to, I got one more message channel, which is unique, and that is message teachers and stakeholders. This channel will concurrently send a message, well, not necessarily concurrently, we'll send a message to the teachers in the class and any stakeholders. I'll show you the stakeholders in a second. What you might use this for, it's got a special type of block, list students who. So what you can do, and we'll see if this is working. So you can come in here and you could say, if the student is in a specific section or in a specific group, or just list out, a bunch of specific students, Or you could create a rule. You could say if all the students who are failing or something along those lines. So you could, once you set that up, when this message goes out, it will just create a bulleted list of all the students who meet that. So you can make a message at the top that says, these are the students that we really need to pay attention to this week. And then Delphinium will run that filter and create a list. Who that message goes to is a nice segue to the new options in the People tab. So we can actually, I need to. That teacher and stakeholder message will go to anyone in this send a copy to list. So you can send it to yourself. So you get a message that says, here's all the people that are struggling. If there are other teachers or TAs or other people in the class, you can throw them, make sure they get a copy. And then here you could say the counselors at helpme.com. And you can just add as many people as you think would be relevant to get that list or get a copy. So if you're sending a message to just the teachers and the stakeholders, then this is the list of people who will get that message. If you have other types of channels on the message, they'll all get a copy of the message. It won't include student data. It'll just say this message was sent to these students, and then it will have kind of a template version of the message. So everybody knows what went out. Everything we were doing with filtering on paragraphs, we can filter for the whole message. So we can say, if the student is in this section or in this group, or we can exclude specific students, or we can make a rule for the whole message, not the paragraphs. So if the student is struggling or whatever reason, then we can send them that message. We can actually get pretty complex. We can add multiple conditions here. So you could say, if they were struggling and they're in this section, send them this message. You can combine messages. It can be do both of these or do any of these. It's really quite powerful. This is definitely a power user's tool. I don't anticipate that every teacher will be using this a lot, but we'll show you in a second some ways that we can make it easier for teachers. One other thing that's new is, in addition to being able to send it to groups in this course, your Canvas administrator can create groups of students at the account level. So all the athletes, all the high-risk kids, whatever group they want to make. And so if you add that group, so here's the account groups. If you add an account group to this message, if there is a student in that group that's also in this course, then we can loop them in on a specific email. Maybe that's all I want to say about the People tab. New Schedule tab. Mostly this is all stuff you've seen before if you've been using these Delphinium tools. Post now, post on a specific date, post on a relative day, so the second day after the start of the course or the second day before the end of the course. The power of these relative dates is, if you write the message, Delphinium will schedule it based on the course start and end date. Then when you copy this class to next term or next semester, all the messages will go with and reschedule themselves. So this is very useful for the kind of emails you're always sending out every semester that you just have to remember to write. Welcome to the class. The class is almost over. Midterms coming. Remember your permission slip. These are really useful when you discover that like 6 students email you on the same week every semester. So just schedule this 3 days before that so that they all get the answer to that question right before they have the question. And the final option here is to put it on a schedule, a repeating schedule. So you could say every second Monday, starting in the second week, send out a message. So you could create your own custom, you could create your own custom progress report and send it out that way. So those are all the new features in the message. There's a lot of complexity there. I do want to kind of go back to where I started. If you just want the simplest thing, open a message, give it a title and the message, and hit send. Delphinium will default to send it to all the students now. Just like a normal message. You don't have to visit these other tabs if you don't want to. To help with the complexity, we have a new template system. So creating a template is just like making an email. It just doesn't go anywhere and it becomes a template. Now you can, same as snippets, these can follow you around. So if you have emails that you send out in every class, you can create a teacher template, and then that will always be there when you log into the templates tab. To make it a real email, you just hit this plus and it will then copy it over into the messages tab. Or you can make it a course template so that other teachers can have access to it. In addition, the Canvas admin can now make a account template. Account templates will show up on this list too. So you could make, all of the teachers could get together and come up with like a best practices for your school on a progress report email, so that it's something that does all the things you want it to do, but it's too complex for most, for a lot of teachers to take the time to figure out. Make that email at the account level and it will appear in this list. Even better, the account admin can make a template default, which will show it in the template list, and it will show up in everyone's messages list in draft mode. So all the teacher has to do is say, I like this one, I want it in my class, and turn it on. So that should make that quite simple. There's one more level of templates, and that's a global ones that I can make. So I can learn from you guys, and I can build those out and push them out so that everybody has them. I can even make them default so everyone has them in their list. The Canvas administrator can override my defaults so that it's not cluttering up with stuff that you don't want that I made. That's not all. Also, well, let me see here. We've been working on a new thing. So there was one more tab I didn't show you. A different developer's working on it right now. So let me show it to you over here. So if we have a message and we write first name, you have points in the class. Teacher name. So we have this preview tab. Before you send it, you can see who it would be going to, and you have 0 points in the class. So although you have 0 points in the class. If you wanted to see how it would look for a different student, you could select that student. And she has the same data. This is an empty class, but it changed this teacher name. But if I came back here, for example, and said, well, this message actually should come from Gore, and we did the preview. Cross your fingers, I've never tested this. Yeah, so it puts Gore in as the teacher. So that way you can see, this is a complex thing. I want you to be very comfortable and confident before you send these things out. So if you had a bunch of conditional blocks, for example, and you just wanted to see how it was going to look for a specific student right now, you could come in, view the message as that student, and then try a few different students before you save and send it. That's not all. Next, we're going to have the new system for messaging based on an assignment. So what we can do is in Canvas, there's this tool called Message Students Who, I think. It's very hard to find and it's difficult to use. It's not difficult to use, but it's not super obvious. Here, we're going to build that right into your assignment list. So if I click on an email next to an assignment, I've got a message for students in that assignment, and I've got some controls. I can say, send it to students who have not submitted, who did submit. We can send it to if the assignment is missing, late, excused, not excused. There's a lot of different flexibility. If they haven't turned it in, if they earn points, between two values, the middle range students, you've got a lot of flexibility there. Let me just go to this one. Submitted is not submitted. Then you can run a little query to see who that would have gone to, who that will be going to. And so these are the students who will get that message. So that's very similar to the Canvas version, except we're also going to give you all of the variable text. So now they're going to get, instead of, dear student, I noticed you're struggling, they're going to get, Johnny, Jill, Jane, I noticed you got this many points on this assignment. And so that will be very customized and personalized to them. So two advantages to using this for Delphinium, in Delphinium. One is it's very easy to find this in the interface. And two, you get the customization. The third advantage is we can switch to the advanced mode and have all the tools I showed you before. So you can run rules, you can schedule them, you can have multiple messages. So here I've got two messages for this assignment, one that goes out the 15th and one that goes out the 22nd. So you could create a message that goes out right before the message, right before the assignment's due, to just say, hey, I noticed you haven't submitted this yet. It's coming in 2 days. Then you could have another one that goes right out after and says, looks like you didn't do very well on this assignment. Would you like to meet with me and kind of talk through it? So again, you can be very strategic. I don't know that you would want to do this on every assignment, but some of them, I think it would be useful. There's more. This one's for Natalie. She pointed out that adding a text box into the layout did not have very many variable text options. So what I realized after her saying that is that this is just another messaging system. It just doesn't go out as a message. It's just there when they see it. So we have the entire complete messages system, variable text system that's there in all of the other ones. So all your snippets, your conditional text, or maybe not conditional text. We could do that if that's something you guys want. I'm not sure that makes sense here, but so that's there. Now, one more. Probably more of your teachers are using this filter and message system. So we could say, just show me the struggling kids or the kids. One thing we've added, maybe you've seen this already, we put this in a while back. Let's say you do the filter and you're like, not that kid. Just take that kid off and that kid won't get the email. Or maybe you have it, maybe you're like just looking at this list and you say, I really just want that one, that one. Those are the 3 kids I want to message right now. So that's who'll get this message. We've added to this interface the send copy to tool. So you can add other people on this message if you wanted to. We've added more channels that this message could go out. We've added a lot more variable text here than we had before. Well, that I think is the whole thing.